In the previous lecture, we have discussed about co-channel interference reduction factor. So we have seen that the formula for co-channel interference reduction factor is we have derived as dk by r, where dk is the distance of the co-channel cells which comes under the first tier. So we have seen in this figure that this is the first tier for cell 1. We are having some 6 number of co-channel cells which are coming under interference. These 6 cells are taking participation for the cause of co-channel interference. So the distances of these co-channel cells is nothing but dk we are taking. And we have derived that the co-channel interference reduction factor is dk by r. So here we are going to see what is the desired carrier to interference ratio from a normal case in an omnidirectional antenna system. So we are assuming that here all the distances, generally all the distances in the first tier, the co-channel cells distance will not be same in the real time. But here we are considering that we are assuming all the distances are same for simplicity. That is here as shown in this figure. All the cells are at same distance, but this will not occur in practical. So for simplicity, we are assuming that all the dk are same, and then that's why we are taking as d is equal to dk and the q is equal to qk. So we are substituting in the formula carrier to interference ratio, that is c by I is equal to r power minus gamma by, here you can see d into summation. Here we have seen the formula. You can see here it is the summation q. Okay, the summation is nothing but here we are taking 6 co-channel cells. So that's why we are substituting here 6 into d power minus gamma. And if you are simplifying this one, d by r is nothing but this d by r here, it is nothing but q. That's why in the place of d by r, we are substituting q power gamma. Gamma, we know that it is a path loss slope. So q per gamma by 6. So this is the formula. So we can get this q as, after simplification, q is equal to 6 into c by I whole power 1 by gamma. So in this equation 3, the value of c by I, that is carrier to interference ratio, is based on the required system performance and also the specified value of gamma based on the environment. So here we are considering the mobile environment, means the gamma value is 4. So with given values of c by I and gamma, that is propagation path loss slope, the co-channel interference reduction factor q can be determined. So normal cellular practice is to specify that c by I, that is carrier to interference ratio, to be 18 dB or higher based on the subjective test. Because a c by I of 18 dB is measured by the acceptance of voice quality from present cellular mobile receivers. This acceptance implies that both mobile radio multipath fading and co-channel interference become ineffective at that level. So after doing number of surveys, they have fixed that the acceptable carrier to interference ratio to be 18 dB or more. If that carrier to interference ratio is less than 18 dB, so the signal level cannot be detected. That is the meaning. The path loss slope gamma is equal to, as I told earlier, it is 4 for the mobile radio environment. So that's why we are substituting for gamma, that is 1 by gamma, as in the place of gamma we are taking 4. And here already I told number of co-channel cells that are coming into interference we are taking as 6 in one tier. So if you substitute this one, so the value for q we are getting, it is co-channel interference reduction factor is 4.41. So the 90th percentile of the total covered area would be achieved by increasing the transmitted power at each cell. Increasing the same amount of transmitted power in each cell does not affect the result of the interference reduction factor q. This is because q is not a function of power. We have seen q is a function of distance between the co-channel cells and the radius of the particular cell. So it is not depending upon the transmitted power. The computer simulation finds that the value of q is equal to 4.6, but we got the value of q as 4.41. So it is very nearer to the computer simulation value. So the factor q can be related to the finite set of cells q, that is a finite set of cells k. K is the cluster size, number of group frequencies that we are using in a cell, and it is a hexagonal shaped cellular system. So what is the Q value? Q is equal to D by R. So already we know D is equal to root 3 KR. So from that we can find the equation as, so we know that Q is equal to D by R and D is equal to root 3K into R. So from that we are getting the Q value is equal to root 3 into K. So by substituting Q from the above equation, what is the Q value we got? 4.41. So by substituting this value, we can find out the K value. So if you substitute Q as 4.41, then K is equal to 4.41 by root 3. Then the K value what we are getting is 7. So if it has to satisfy the carrier to interference ratio to be 18 dB, we are considering that value. We substitute that value, and if we take the all the co-channel cells at the same distance, then the value that we are getting for K, the cluster size is 7. So equation 6, that is the value of that is, it is indicating K is equal to 7. Is that 7 cell reuse. K is equal to 7 means nothing but 7 cell reuse pattern. The 7 frequencies we are reusing number of times. It is needed for a CY of 18 dB. So if we are considering exactly CY is equal to 18 dB, so it is satisfied for the 7 cell reuse pattern. That is the meaning. So based on Q is equal to D by R, the determination of D can be reached by choosing a radius R in equation 4. That is, what is equation 4? That is Q is equal to D by R. That is it. So here usually a value of Q greater than that shown in equation 4 would be desirable, because we cannot say that exactly 18 dB. So because it should be more than 18 dB, there may be chance of fading and some other path slopes can be added, because it is in the real time it is propagating through the free space. So that's why it is here we have taken exactly 18 dB and then we got that the K is equal to 7 cell reuse pattern. But in the real time we cannot take exactly 18 dB. It should be somewhat more than 18 dB. 18 dB plus some plus or minus 3 dB will be always preferable. So that's why the greater the value of Q, the lower the co-channel interference. In a real environment, equation 5 is always true. What is the equation 5? That is Q is equal to root 3 K. It is always true, but equation 1 is not. So what is equation 1 we have seen? It is C by I is equal to Q power gamma by 6. That is not the correct. So the equation what we have to follow is Q is equal to root 3 K. Okay. So because equation 4 is derived from equation 1, the value Q may not be large enough to maintain a carrier to interference ratio of 18 dB. So here the main thing what we have to remember is that the carrier to interference ratio should be 18 dB and greater than 18 dB for receiving the signal strength at the receiver side. Then only we can say that the cell is in the coverage area and we will be able to receive the call. This is regarding the so here why we are calling as normal case is that we are considering all the co-channel cells are at the same distance and we are considering the antenna as omnidirectional antenna system. That is, it will be the antenna will be radiating in all the 360 degrees direction. So for that case we are finding what is the desired C by I from a normal case. So the desired C by I is we know already, because from the survey we came to know that it should be 18 dB and greater than 18 dB. So that value we are taking into account. We have substituted here by converting into the terms, and then we got the Q as 4.41, and from that we derived the cell reuse pattern that the cluster size as 7 is acceptable for the 18 dB or more than that. So this is regarding the C by I of normal case and omnidirectional antenna system. In the next video, we will see about the how can we improve the capacity of the system. Okay, thank you.